What is up, internet? Welcome to the first ever Dungeons & Dragons stream on the channel. I am super excited about it. I'm sorry I was a little late. Turns out, cameras are very hard to set up. So shout out to everyone that makes cameras happen in short order. I had to learn a new skill set today, baby. But I am happy to be here with some awesome people. We've got, you know what? Why do I need to introduce you? You can introduce yourselves. Let's go ahead and just go in order down the screen here. Dan, my man, introduce yourself to the internet. Tell us about yourself. What's going on?
Hey, what's up? My name is Dan. I'm a longtime friend of Greg's. I've known him since high school. Excited to be playing D&D with you guys. Haven't played 5e since high school, so it'll be a nice
You played 5e
for
with me, didn't you?
Is that what we were playing?
I was gonna say, didn't Dan?
Oh no, we were playing 5e. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
No, you're right. I forgot about that. Yeah. I did play with you. For a while.
Alrighty, sweet. Awesome. Well, let's go down. Faye, beautiful Faye, why don't you tell us a little about yourself?
Oh my god. Okay. This is the first time Greg and I are going to play together. We've never played before. But we do play with similar people, I guess. D&D, so that's how we ended up here. I've been playing D&D for years and years and years and years and years, like a really long time now. And I started back up again with 5e, which is also a little bit older by now. And I'm pretty excited for this, actually.
Nice.
Like, it's really good to play D&D with new people sometimes, you know? Like, if you always play with the same people, you just, it is nice to have your own group, but sometimes really exciting to just start something new with new people. So I'm looking forward to that.
Absolutely. Awesome to have you. I'm super excited to get some new faces into my D&D campaigns as well. Sweet.
And
so let's go down.
Which is very important.
CaptainMEL, Mike, let us know about yourself.
We are so not in the same order, by the way. You've jumped from bottom left to bottom right, now to top right.
I'm going by order on the stream
Let's go
layout.
down the screen in order, and I'm just like, I have no idea what order we're going in. Hey, my name is Michael. I go by CaptainMEL online most of the time. I have known Greg for 4 years-ish.
Longer than that, I feel like. Maybe.
Might be 5.
Yeah.
It's not much longer than that. I met Greg at a D&D Adventures League game at our local game store, and we completely took over the entire adventure.
That's so cute.
We started, well, because we were the strongest personalities and had the most original ideas, so we ended up calling that game, even though we were playing Horde of the Dragon Queen, we ended up calling it Bimberford, which was my character's name, and Friends, because it was just me and Greg running the whole show, and the rest of the characters being like, well, these guys have ideas, I guess we'll do that. So I will try not to do that to you guys today.
There's
no shame.
Yeah.
There's no shame in being a sidekick, though. Like,
Yeah,
you know.
It was
Everybody
a lot of fun.
knows.
The other players actually enjoyed it too, because Greg and I had wacky, wild ideas that were fun to carry out, up until we killed Mitch's character for being a jackass.
We did! We set up a murder. I forgot about that.
No. He murdered someone and then tried to like run to us from the guards, and we were like, dude, you killed a man.
Alrighty.
It wasn't just a man, it was a guard. We ended up taking his money and using it to establish a charity for widows and orphans of town guards in his name, despite the fact that he'd killed a town guard.
And this is why I'm such a big supporter of Adventures League. You get to meet awesome people. I found a future roommate out of it. It's pretty dope. So, you know, Adventures League
and
there.
then hovering over my right shoulder, this is my wife, Cass. And periodically, you'll probably see our dog, Bearwin's ears pop up over here. So
Perfect. Yeah, we need a dedicated dog cam so we can drive viewership, right?
Right. She's actually not in her bed right now. She's probably gone downstairs because we're being too loud.
I
But
see.
she'll check in when she gets hungry.
All right, so let's go ahead and slide on over to Millman. What's up, my dude?
How's it going, everybody? I'm Millman. You've probably seen me on Shenanigans a long time ago. I couldn't join in anymore because of the ridiculous time frame it is for me. I'm from Australia, if you can't tell. I'll be the one with the weird accent. Aha! I'll take it over the German accent.
What?
Claimed it.
Battle of the accents, go!
That's it. No, this is where we team up and kill the rest of the party.
Being German, I think Faye
deal.
has to have an evil alignment, right? Because this is an American show.
Shh. You don't
Okay.
know nothing.
I play D&D across the board. I play I have 2 streams on my channel, and I join in wherever I'm invited. That's why I'm here. Greg was like, "I'm doing a D&D campaign. Are you interested?" I was like, I thought I was the first name on the list. Like,
You
is
were
there
up
anybody
there.
else you would ask? Yeah. Every character I play is different and unique. I think you guys are gonna like my character idea that I have for this one until I die, because I always end up dying because I'm ridiculous. But yeah, I'm really excited. So
Perfect.
Anything
We
else?
are super excited to have you. Last, but definitely not least, my boy Sean. I don't know how much introduction you need, but why don't you take it away?
If you're coming over from Neil's channel, I've been on a couple of his shows, and if you're not, you probably don't know who I am because I don't do anything else on the internet. So I think that's about it. Yeah.
All right, short and sweet. I love it. Well, everyone, welcome to the session 0. I like to make character creation happen as a group. I feel like the game is a group experience. The character creating should be a group experience. And so that's what I aim to do today for this stream. So why don't we give you a little bit of a welcome to the game world I've created for you today. You are in the Thoan Midlands. This is the kind of region of the map that you can see on Roll20 here on the stream. It's sitting right there for you all.
Sean, you're not. Sean, you're not.
I need the game link.
It's in Disco.
What? Where? I was looking for it.
Okay, here.
17th of December or something, I think.
I'll copy it. I'll copy it again.
Okay.
I'll copy it again and send it to you, Sean. You bad
Thanks.
boy.
I tried searching for it. It didn't show up, and I was like,
That's hilarious.
All right,
Okay,
thank you.
anyway, I'll forgive you, I guess. So this map here I spent a lot of time on, but this, as I like, Mike and Dan can probably tell you from other campaigns, I like to leave empty spaces on the map. And so I have a pretty good idea of a lot of granular detail, and I have a separate map myself. But if you were to get a map from a map maker or somebody else, this is the region of the world you're from. These are the major landmarks, the major things that you'll see. And then as we go through it, you guys can feel free to mark it up, make any notations you want on it. These empty spaces are for you to fill with ideas and with what you find. So let's talk about the world at large. The Thoan Midlands were a reasonably normal fantasy land for a long time. There was an old kingdom that lived there, but the arrival happened and roughly 1,000 years passed, and rifts to other realms opened across the Midlands and across Thoa itself. And through these rifts came strange peoples from other worlds. Most notably in the Thoan Midlands are the elves, the orcs, the creatures of the Fae. These creatures came through pretty much unexpectedly. There are rumors and whispers of an ancient history that may know more, but these rifts were, for all intents and purposes, random. They just opened and came in new peoples. Amongst them were the Court of Kor, a powerful archfey who ruled over the elves and fae at the time. This caused a long and bloody conflict with the Old Kingdom, eventually causing the Old Kingdom to fall and no longer be the ruler of the Midlands. As you can see, there are many cities here connected by an old road, but they have now kind of risen on their own as shared culture, shared history to some extent, but in the 1,000-year sense of their own city-states, their own individual rules. The conflict eventually ended, and history tells us that it was ended by a coalition of elves and dwarves and men that eventually closed the rifts and stopped new people coming through, and sealed away Kor and his powerful court in his home realm. The rifts across the world eventually closed, and you see this mingling of new cultures, new magics. The world exploded forth in lots of magical creatures, magical effects and phenomenon. And this is the world that for 1,000 years shared history. To the north of the Midlands, the mighty elves settled a great and powerful forest. They keep old traditions, but there are many elves that did not do this, and they're found throughout the Midlands. The dwarves in their mighty halls and homes felt a calling, a yearning, and many of them had a great diaspora out of their mountain halls, and they are found throughout the world as well, along with many other strange creatures and magics and superstitions. The gods themselves changed as new gods came through the rifts and more magic entered the world. Gods became prevalent and common. They're localized. Their relative powers based on the worship of the people around them. And so for 1,000 years, this shared culture has brought up kind of a melting pot of the Midlands. You'll be starting in the city of Sarmanath, one of the oldest cities in the Midlands. Sarmanath is a old fort, essentially, in this old conflict that served as a meeting point for people and who has grown up as one of the stronger city-states here. It is home to the Seekers, a powerful guild who is primarily interested in searching out the new magics, the artifacts of other worlds, and the legacy of the rifts in order to better understand them, or perhaps for more power. There's a lot of uncertainty amongst the common folk about why Seekers seek, but it is known that they all seek. So we shall be starting with you all making characters who are first level and have joined the guild, and that is our kind of starting point. Is there any question that you all have, or ideas, or anything about the just general world itself before we dive into building up those characters?
Sorry, can you say the purpose of the guild again?
The purpose of the guild: the Seekers seek out the artifacts, magic, and secrets of the rifts that have long since closed. They are basically in an attempt to gather. It is known that they gather the items left behind, but also they do things like protect folk from these strange and new magical beasts in the land, or try to uncover the mysteries of whatever strange phenomenon are left over. It could be thought of as an adventurer's guild, and they will take petty adventuring tasks to pay the bills. Their overall driving purpose is this connection with the rifts.
Is there for the Seekers, like, is there any sort of reason, like, why they do that? Like, why are they seeking out all of these? Is that public knowledge, or is that like everyone kind of has their own theory on what their agenda is?
I think everyone kind of has their own theory, and in fact, the Seekers are an old guild, right? I think anyone who seeks has their own personal reason.
Pre-arrival old, or?
The history books are uncertain about anything pre the arrival. It could be, but based on the things they do.
History was a Fey concept. They brought it to.
perhaps
couldn't write
so.
and dub a fake game.
Yeah. So it's an old guild. It most likely dates post-arrival, but as you get closer to the arrival, the history is more uncertain, more spoken word, more rumor, and less hard and written fact. All right. So that is the world that we are approaching. So let's make the characters that are going to play in this world. We're going to have a question for you all. How do you want to roll for your stats? Or do you even not want to roll? I am very partial to rolling. However,
I'm really disappointed if we don't roll.
Yeah,
I'm totally gonna roll.
Good.
Personally offended.
Good. I am glad that you are all sharing my desire to roll those stats, baby. All right. So in 5e, the player's handbook, it tells you to roll 4d6d1 in order down the page. I am for that, but there are many other options that we could do. We could make a big pool of stats for you all to choose from. We could roll 3d6. We could roll 4d6d1 and mix them all up. Is there anything that sounds like the most fun way to make the characters that you want for this game?
Are you sure it's not arranged in whatever order?
I just read it last night, and I'm pretty sure it's in order. But if we want to arrange,
do
we
in
can do
46, put them in whatever order you
Oh.
want.
Yeah, I mean, I mostly just want to play a specific class.
that. So it sounds like 46 and arrange in whatever order.
Pretty much. I'm
Works for me.
totally
Alright.
going to.
Can I keep the test roll that I made in chat already? Because it was a 16.
Nope. No, sir. You gotta roll them.
The
on
bargaining is
spot.
already starting.
Yeah.
All right. So, let's go ahead and just
Have everybody
roll up
maybe
those
everybody
stats.
roll their first stat down.
Why don't
Otherwise-
we have you just roll your 6 stats, and we'll just go through the order that we introduced.
I was gonna say because that's gonna turn into rolling chaos in the thing. Is what I was.
Yeah, so one player at a time.
Yeah, one player at a time.
Oh,
roll
okay.
6
Okay.
stats
Okay.
and set them up. So.
Should we figure out what everyone wants to like play first, so that we don't step on
No.
it?
You could.
I haven't
Left.
decided anything about the character I'm playing until I've rolled my stats. So
I know that a couple of you have come
Because
to
if-
me with ideas, so I am more than happy to bang out how you want. If you have a class you want to play, you can say it, but that's kind of up to you. We want to make this as a group.
I mean, if the stats are terrible, it's easier to go off the deep end and just, play whatever. If you have really good stats, you can still be serious.
I played a demoralizing bard in the last campaign I played with Greg because
Oh my God.
was so bad. We did this exact same point by thing or stat thing. 4d6, drop your lowest. I even think he may have let us roll 7 sets and drop one of the sets, and my modifiers added to like +1. I rolled so badly that Greg told me I could scrap the set and re-roll, and I chose not to.
Wow. Wow.
He
That's an
rolled
official rule.
a barkeeper, but then he adventured with
Yep.
it, and it was great.
Yeah.
That's actually an official rule in Hackmaster. If your stats are bad enough, you can name the character and hand it to the GM, and they'll make it an innkeeper in a world.
NPC, yeah.
Did you call your character Marvin?
No, but that is 100% who the character was based on. Yeah.
That was such a good call. Oh my god.
He was a Svertlin, with the
Oh.
the big bald head, and just the whole adventure he just followed everybody around, and when he'd use vicious mockery, he actually got one enemy to just give up fighting and kill themselves. That one.
Oh my God.
He crit the hell out of a vicious mockery. It had to happen.
Yeah.
All right, so let's roll some stats. I'm excited to get this going. I'm going
right.
to just go down the order we introduced ourselves. So, Dan,
Oh, great.
you're
How do I
up
do-
first.
How
Roll
do I
me
do
some
drop
stats.
one on?
It's K3, so you roll 4d6, KH3.
K.
That is one way to do it.
You said KH3.
Yeah.
Yep. And you can put brackets around them to keep them in
worked.
line, but you can just do it like that too.
Wait, inline rolling is with brackets? I'm gonna.
Yeah, so you can do double bracket, roll, double bracket, and then double bracket, roll, double bracket. But you can roll them just like this. I'm totally okay. You got a 14 to start off, Dan.
I'm gonna need a piece of
Copy
paper
that.
for this.
So I'll have to redo that already.
You
Great,
do
guys.
have characters sheets in Roll20 for those of you that actually
I like it.
joined.
Oh.
So you can use those if you would like. And I will give Sean, that naughty
in.
boy, access to his.
Oh, I see. You did it before.
And I don't know who else wasn't here. I think it was Faye. Yeah, there you go. You have control of yours. You can use these as character sheets over the pen and paper if you desire.
What's this KH3 thing?
It means keep highest 3. So it's going to drop the lowest total on the die. You could also
Automatically-
DL, right? 1 or there's lots of them.
I think D1 does the same. You just, it drops the lowest one if you just do D1.
Okay, that's why you said 4d6 D1. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
what? I didn't understand the D1. I'm like, that's a one-sided die. That's always going to be a 1. What? Okay, it's a Roll20 thing. I don't use Roll20 hardly ever. So
They keep changing
Whee!
it, so it's always confusing.
yeah. Probably.
16 is pretty solid though.
Yeah, no, I like those
Yeah.
numbers. Lots of evens. I hope you guys all hear me.
3.
Yeah, we hear you. You good?
Okay, good. Something. My shit cut out there for a second.
You got a 14 and a 10, Dan. You gotta pop out some
You
more
don't hear-
numbers here.
Do you not see them all?
I got 14 and
Nice.
10.
I see them. He's
Oh,
16
pretty solid
was
set.
last round.
Oh,
10,
yo,
10,
okay, all right. Yeah,
I
yeah,
got
yeah,
16.
yeah. 7, 14, 8, and 16. Beautiful.
Yeah, so
Beautiful.
top to bottom, 16, 2 14s, a 10, an 8, and a 7.
Yep. It's not too bad.
It's not too bad. I like it. Got some
Awesome.
flaws.
Yeah. Got a couple lower
Beautiful.
stats for interest.
Beautiful. All right, so Dan with a 14, 10, 7, 14, 8, and 16. A great start. Let's go down to Faye. Why don't you roll us some stats?
Okay, let's see. I haven't done that in a while. 40, 61, right?
That will
Is
work.
it 12? No, 3D 60. Wait, is it 4? Yeah, it's 4.
Yes, it is.
1 second. Oh god, it's gonna go terribly. Okay. Oh, that's good. I like that.
Hey, look at you with a
3,
17.
4, 5.
Here's our tank right here.
Wait, 1, 2,
She's still
3.
got
Is that? Did I roll 1 too much?
1. No,
6? No, I think
No,
that's
you
right.
did it perfect. You did it perfect.
Oh, we're good.
5, 6. Yeah, you got 6.
Beautiful. 11,
Ugh.
17, 13, 13, 9, and 8. You can do a lot of things with that.
That's a variant human if I've ever seen one.
You get a lot of bonuses for the variant, that's for sure. All right. CaptainMEL, Mike, make it happen.
All right. Let me see if this works. I tried setting up a macro so I could just be lazy. There we go.
Nice.
1, 2, 3. Oh shit.
Our first 18.
Oh boy.
Oh,
Oh
boy.
boy.
4.
you got
Oh
it.
shit.
I'm not even
This
paying
is the
attention.
battle turtle right here.
5.
Never mind.
All right,
Right.
good. Something less than 10. Thank goodness. 6.
Okay.
Okay.
2 9s.
All right. Wow.
That's pretty good. Oh man.
Wow. 12, 13, 18, 17, 9, and 9.
The opposite of Barguild.
Barguild, you are not, sir.
Yeah.
Barguild, you are not. Amazing. All right.
I should play another Deep Gnome and just be like Farguild's way better brother, and the reason that character was so depressed all the time.
I like it. I like it. Millman, my dude.
All right, let's
You're
do
up.
this. Oh, I forgot the roll. Hold up. There we go. Now I can just control paste.
11.
Oh yes, this is what I wanted. I wanted
Oh,
a throwaway character, and I got a throwaway character.
Oh my god.
boy!
Oh,
character.
Give me
Even with that,
God.
ring of
I know that's
necessity.
That character still would have murdered Barguild in any kind of competition.
Hell yeah!
So
Let's
you
do
got
this.
11, 9, 13, 13, 9, and 10. You're pretty average. I like it. You got some positives. You got
I think they all balance out to 0 too. That's the best part.
I do, actually.
I think.
Yeah, the 13s are pluses.
Yeah, so I get 2 plus 1s. That's it. This is gonna be an amazing character.
Well, yep, and you've got some racial bonuses that can go into there. All right. Very nice. That was Millman, so that leaves us with Sean. You've got the task of anchoring the team here.
All right, we got 12, a 13. Oh, that was not an enter key. 14. I'm just going up. Oh, now I'm going back down. All right. I peeked. All right.
Well, that's
Pretty-
actually a very good character.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty average
You
all
are.
around.
You're slightly above average at literally everything.
I feel like that's something that you would end up with if you were using point buy. Actually, I feel like that's a pretty.
I feel like it would be missing a 15 or a 16 or something, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, yeah,
That's
but he
not
doesn't
though.
have an 8.
that's true. That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, and he's got 3 13s, which so
That is pretty close to point by, yeah.
yeah, I think that'd be pretty close to what you could manage with point buy if you were trying not to make yourself suck at anything.
Nice.
Well,
All right.
and then if he does variant human, there's a 15 and 3 14s for you right there too. So
Yeah.
I think you only get 2 if you do the variant human. You get 2 plus 1s.
Oh, that's right. You can do regular human and just get +1 everything.
Yeah, but oh man, the regular human is just terrible.
Yeah, I don't know anyone who actually plays normal human. Everybody plays variant for that feed.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so the book here says you should pick a race next, which is fine, but I always like to pick a class and then use a race to modify that class. Unless, of course, we have Millman over here who wanted me to hand make a pixie for him.
Thank you.
I'm set.
Yeah, Millman's playing a pixie.
You're set. Okay, so why don't we start with you, Millman, because everybody else here is going to have to do some thinking about what they want to do.
I have one question beforehand.
Sure, go for it.
I have an 18. Is 18 the cap for a first level character? That's a stat that, like, my racial bonus
your
will
racial
not
can
affect.
increase it.
Okay.
20 is your cap.
20 is the highest you can get with
I was
first
checked because
level
in the
character.
PHB it says you can't have a stat that starts higher than 17 for a first level character.
We
really?
rolled, and so this is what you got. Yeah.
But that's using point buy, not rolling.
You hit the lottery, my friend.
Yep.
All right, Millman. So you want to be a pixie? Shall we tell?
I am a pixie.
Do you want to go through like your character concept?
Okay. So my character concept was I was going to round out a party if we didn't have a magic wielder because, as always, nobody wants to be the squishy person. And as the person that literally got the most average Joe Blow pixie you could physically get, I think it's perfect that I play either a bard, a witch, a wizard, sorcerer, or something like that.
All right. So spell casting of some kind, pixie.
Yes.
Very
I
nice.
don't know the extended classes. So
They're extended classes.
The only books that
I can only
Variants.
have the base one. So
Like
only-
they're the class path things that you can choose.
Oh, okay. The extra subclasses.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. See, I only have the base ones. So I'm thinking I'm either going to play a bard or a sorcerer. I was gonna go with druid, but I'm already a pixie, right?
I was
I'm
going to say that
supposed
feels too on
yeah.
the nose.
I feel like
Exactly.
Bard is very pixie-like, you know? Granted, I have been reading Berserk, so all my experiences with Puck, just kind of running across that countryside, have
I'm definitely going to be
You
a
could
bard.
you could be a pixie warlock of the Archfey and just
I thought that, but I can't dual hand fight because I'm not big enough to hold anything two-handed. So we're gonna go with a bard.
Awesome.
Right.
Awesome.
I'm
So
gonna
I'm going to
spin
just
everything
tell you some of the stuff we have for the custom pixie race here. So for being a pixie, we're going to modify your ability scores. You get a +2 in dex. You get a +1 in charisma. And you get -2 to your strength.
All right, let me just correct these perfectly.
And how big is this character? by the
He
way?
is size tiny, which is going to be between the average for a pixie. Now, he's a player character, so we can fudge. But the average for this pixie race is between 6 inches and 18 inches tall.
I'll meet you in the middle, right? And I'm gonna be around about 12 inches tall.
Beautiful. A foot tall pixie girl. I like
Exactly right.
I feel like once you get to 18 inches, that's just creepy for a pixie.
Exactly. I'm
like
starting to get on that
you get a little-
halfling
Yeah.
level.
Yeah.
Beautiful. All right, so you are size tiny. You have a 10-foot base walking speed. So you're very slow on the ground. However, you have a flying speed as well, 25-foot base. So this tiny pixie can get its way around with its wings. So we need to talk about playing a diminutive character a little bit. I know I've kind of given you a rundown on this before in chat, but this is kind of for everybody. So for being size tiny, he is going to have half his normal lifting and carrying capacity based on his strength score. So
I'm just gonna put this in my feats and stuff. So
Absolutely, yeah. Take note of it.
T-weak is what I'm gonna call this feat.
Right. And that's going to matter for the amount of equipment you can carry and stuff, because, you know, being encumbered will make you unable to fly.
Yes.
So, you also, for being a tiny pixie, have disadvantage on strength-based ability checks, saving throws, and attack rolls. And you can only use what I'm going to call diminutive equipment, like teeny tiny equipment, if you find a smith or somebody that is tiny. They can make it for you at normal price, right? Because it's just normal for them. But if you're buying from a dwarf or a human or somebody that's not used to making tiny equipment,
I get a discount.
No, sir. That is going to be
I'm gonna
premium
stand there
price.
wielding a fork. That is my goal.
For the purposes of character creation, you can buy equipment at normal price. We'll assume you've acquired this over your life, whatever that may be. You can come up with whatever backstory you need for that if you want. So these smaller, tiny, diminutive weapons are especially crafted for you. They're half the weight that you're going to see listed in the playbooks, right? But they also deal half their normal damage, minimum, of course, being 1. You can't use weapons with the heavy, two-handed, or reach tags.
Damn, there goes my barbarian.
If you use a versatile weapon, you have to wield it in 2 hands, and it does normal damage. The armor is basically the armor out of the book, but it's half its normal weight for purposes of carrying capacity when you get the diminutive version. So anything that imposes disadvantage on dexterity, like heavy armor or whatever, that's going to give you the inability to fly. That armor is too heavy, even in diminutive form, to fly around in. Or it's too cumbersome for your wings. But something like, even though a breastplate seems weird, maybe they make it with wing holsters, I don't know. Anything that doesn't give you that disadvantage on the armor is going to let you fly around. So, as for bonuses, you have the Fey Ancestry trait. So you have advantage on saving throws against being charmed. Magic cannot put you to sleep.
Do I need to sleep? Am I like an elf?
Yes, you are like an elf. You have the trance. That was the next bit is you need the 4-hour trance to be able to sleep. You also have pixie prowess. So you, as a 0-level, 1st-level pixie, can cast the Fairy Fire spell as a 1st-level spell once per day. Basically once per long rest. Maybe that will happen more times in a day. And you have charisma as your spell casting ability for this. This is natural, doesn't take up a spell slot, it's just something you can do. And as you get more proficient and the magic of fairy permeates your blood, there will be further fey pixie powers to your disposal. And that, you speak Sylvan and Common. And that, I believe, covers it.
Perfect.
So, you are a bard. Tell me now, after we've adjusted your stats, what did you end up with?
Okay, so I really should have. I said I was going to write this down, and I still didn't write this down. So let me quickly go my rolls. So we're going to have a 14 charisma. We're going to have a 7 strength.
Okay.
What's that? 15 dexterity. Did I get 2 9s? I did get 2 9s. So my constitution is going to be 9.
Okay.
And I think I have an 11 and a 10. So 11 intelligence and 10 wisdom.
10 wisdom, and the 14 charisma. All right, beautiful. I love it. You're Bard Pixie. Go ahead, and I'm going to move on to other people, talk about their race class. Go ahead and pick a background from Chapter 4. And that, I like doing the background before diving into class details because you'll be able to get proficiencies, tool proficiencies, skill proficiencies. If you want, we can together as a group come up with a different background for you. We can stitch something together. Does anyone else have an idea of what they want to play, or do they have something they want to talk about as a group before they make a choice?
I'm thinking about being a barbarian because I haven't played a barbarian in 5e yet.
Okay.
I'm trying to decide on a race. I have Ravnica. Can I be a Minotaur?
Yes, but you must. Here's the rule. I don't own that book. So you've got to, like, get all the rules typed out and send them to me so that I know how it works. But
Can I screenshot the Minotaur rule and send them to you instead of typing them all out? Or
get
is
them to me in a legible manner.
I was going to say, or is the busy work of it the penalty for using a non-core?
You know what? I kind of agree with that. I'm going to be a mean English teacher now. Yes, I will only accept the Ravnica rules in typed format.
No. I have to handwrite them, put them in an envelope, and mail them to you.
Don't mail them to me. The Postal Service won't get them to me in time.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, the government's still shut down, isn't it? Yeah.
All right. Awesome. So you're thinking of being a
Mail
barbarian.
shut down during the government shutdown?
I don't want to go into the government shutdown, guys. Let's let's move past that. Okay, so you want to be a barbarian. That is awesome. You want to be a Minotaur barbarian.
I think that I was either a Minotaur barbarian or Tiefling barbarian.
What is the bonus to strength for
either?
I'm sorry, Dan. Could you repeat that?
What is the bonus for strength for a Minotaur?
+2.
+2.
I probably have 20 strength.
That's pretty nuts.
Which doesn't seem unreasonable for a Minotaur.
No.
Like,
No. It's good to have 20 strength.
yeah.
That level 1 +5 bonus.
Yeah. Level 1 +5.
For me, I'll do human because I always play human.
Absolutely.
And then probably either fighter, cleric, or paladin because I could make another class, but I'd probably regret it by session 3. So I'll just stick with what.
Do you have a leaning towards either or any of those?
Paladin's great.
Whatever there's open. I guess I generally lean toward cleric, but I'll play any of those 3.
Okay. Very interesting. So why don't we talk with Mike for a second then? We'll hammer you out while we go here. You have an idea for Barbarian and Minotaur. Why don't you let us know what the Minotaur's race is about?
Sure. So the Minotaur's race is, not surprisingly, it's pretty heavy on the old horns thing. So Minotaurs are big. They average over 6 feet high. Base walking speed's 30. That's all pretty standard. Their horns count as natural melee weapons. So they do 1d6 plus strength, bludgeoning damage, or piercing damage, actually, instead of unarmed strike damage. They have a Goring Rush special combat action where after they use the dash action on their turn and move at least 20 feet, they can make 1 melee attack using their horns as a bonus action. So basically, lower my head and charge at somebody.
Okay.
And then if I take an attack action against someone after I hit with a melee attack, I can use my bonus action to attempt to shove the target using my horns.
Awesome.
They can't be bigger than 1 size larger than me, and they have to be within 5 feet. They have to succeed a strength saving throw against me or be pushed up to 10 feet away from me.
Are Minotaurs considered medium-sized creatures?
Yes, they are medium-sized creatures.
Perfect. That was going to be my caveat there. Sounds like that would be pretty strong as a large-sized creature.
As a large-sized creature, I just run up and push something huge.
Yeah. All right, awesome. So, have you arranged your stats?
I have not arranged my stats, but I can pretty much tell you that it's going to be strength will be 20. Constitution's going to be 18 because Minotaurs get strength +2, con +1.
Okay.
So that'll be my 17 and my 18 there. Con 18. My intelligence is going to be one of my 9s. I think my charisma will be my other 9.
Okay.
We'll put my... let's see. Wisdom or dexterity is 13. And the other one will be 12. So it won't... mechanically, it won't matter very much. And there's only a 1-point difference. Minotaurs aren't, I don't strike me as being super dexterous, but...
I believe Minotaurs are traditionally in mythology considered wise creatures.
Yeah,
So
that's kind of what I was thinking.
That might thematically make sense for you.
I like the idea of a wise barbarian.
Yeah.
13 wisdom, 12 dex.
13 wisdom, 12 dex. All right.
Or actually, you know what? I'm gonna put. We're gonna say. We're gonna take the penalty. We're gonna say 9 dex.
All right. All right.
12 charisma. We're gonna go with the Minotaur has a lot of presence. I'm not charismatic. I have presence.
I fill the room.
Yeah, exactly. So,
perfect. Okay, so you have a barbarian Minotaur.
Yeah, we'll take that -1 penalty, the AC from the.
All right.
The 9.
So I have a question for you, as I have not created a Minotaur race for the game world yet. And
no natural armor
over the
for my
next
race.
couple of weeks, I will be creating that and putting that in the game. Were the Minotaurian people a people that came through the rifts 1,000 years ago? Were they awakened magically by the rift coming open? Was the infusion of magic something that awakened this race naturally in this world?
Or were we normal cows, and then when the magic suffused the energy, like a bunch of people just turned into cow people?
Yes, exactly. Or something else. Or do you not know? Does your character not know?
My character has 9 intelligence. My character probably did not pay attention in history class. He probably thinks his grandfather served in Vietnam, even though he's too young. And I'm thinking potentially. You said that the Winter Court, basically arrived in this world and declared war on it immediately, right?
Yes, sir.
The Fey Winter Court. Maybe the Fey Court, Minotaurs were their siege weapons, their line breakers.
Okay.
Because Minotaurs have a certain mythological aura to them. Maybe the Fey were okay, here's our. This is how we break our way through.
So it sounds like the Minotaurian race is a Fey culture that came through the rifts, presumably with the elves or alongside them in some way.
Like that, probably.
Okay. Yeah, I can definitely work with that. And they served the court of Kor. Excellent. I will make a note of that. Does that sound good to everybody else? Anything to add? This is a collaborative experience as well, right? So feel free to jump in and holler if you need.
Is my big
sounds
buddy.
good.
Great. Awesome.
Your trusty steed is what you wanted to say, right?
Yeah, I'm the little buddy. He's the big buddy.
Yeah. We will definitely have to fastball special you at something at some point.
I love it. I love the idea of the
flat
fastball
on it,
special.
and I'm just like, you're gonna shrink now, and then cast shrink.
Beautiful.
Everybody fears the pixie hug because we're magic
Beautiful.
creatures.
Actually, yeah, that'll be the better moment. Is the point at which you get enough magic that you can cast enlarge reduce on me, and then you can fastball special me, and then right as I get to something, I get big again like Ant-Man.
We're gonna break this world so quickly.
Alrighty. Let's see. Does anyone else? We've kind of gone through Mike. So what I want you to do next, Mike, think about your character, pick a background from chapter 4, and pull together some ideas for who this barbarian Minotaur is. And while you think about that, we'll move on. Somebody else get some of the mechanics down. Dan, Sean, Faye, you got anything? You need some help? What do you got for me?
Been looking through. I think I'll do a cleric.
A cleric.
Go light
Awesome.
domain, probably.
Light domain. Okay. So, Sean,
Yes.
human cleric that you are,
Mm-hmm.
do you want to make your own god, or would you like to use one of the deities that I have prepared? Or would you like to hear about the deities of the Midlands and then make a choice later?
Yeah, let's hear about the ones you have prepared. What? Because you said they're all pretty local, right?
Yes,
so,
so the deities of the Midlands are much changed since the 1,000 years have gone past. Before the arrival, there probably was a pantheon. There was these primordial gods that created the universe and whatnot. But since then, the magic has changed, and smaller, more powerful things have arisen and even ascended to godhood. And it seems that each kind of region has their own local flavor. The Midlands specifically have different gods they worship than the Highlands or whatever other country or region of the world you go to. And even in the different national, like, city-states, there might be a larger influence of one deity over another. In Sarmanath and the regions right around it in the Midlands, perhaps the most widely worshipped god is Bridges. Bridges is the three-headed goddess of poetry, fertility, and smithing. She's often depicted as a woman with 3 heads and fire emitting from her hair. She is known as one who was birthed from a great wildfire and has dominion over not only fire but these other results of it: smithing, the melting of metal, fertility, the rebirth of something from fire, and the inspiration of fire, poetry, music, singing. She is considered to be the mother of muses, mermaids, and other beautiful creatures. And is widely and commonly thought of as someone that represents, the guiding influence in Sarmanath. Kind of alternatively to her, Sarmanath sits at the base of a mighty river and a large lake, and the protector and lord of these waters is Feyam. Feyam, the crocodile god of rivers and lakes and large bodies of water. He's depicted as a humanoid, but of maybe crocodile form. He's kind of like a oversized lizard man, maybe, but even more terrifying in his depiction. It is said that the mighty river, the Moonflow, is actually the sweat and tears of Feyam as they've collected over time, and thus he has dominion over the waters. He is the patron of storms, of wild running waters of chaos, but also of judgment, and strength and hunting of nature. The sons of Feyam are often these large lizard, crocodile-like creatures that are known to sit in judgment if a conflict is too difficult or too great for the peoples of Sarmanath to come to an agreement on. They can be called from the waters to sit in judgment, and the cost of which can be the son of Feyam eating or consuming the soul of the one found guilty. The other, and probably more global and less regional of the goddesses is Hilla. Hilla being the goddess of both witchcraft, but also of sacred oaths. She's very much associated with the moon. It's kind of a duality of being. She is both considered to be the moon in the sky and also to be a goddess herself. She is commonly tasked and depicted as guiding the souls of the dead back to the stars. She is the patron of both death and journeys. She is the patron of solemn vows and sacred oaths, and also of witchcraft and prophecy. She's often depicted holding 2 torches, and is the goddess protector of the journey and of branching paths, right? If you came to a fork in a road, it would not be uncommon to see the goddess Hilla and her torches there with offerings for her. So yeah, those are the kind of major ones in this region. But as I said, there's lots of local gods and flavors. This is an opportunity for you to input your own lore and theory into the world before we start playing.
Well, I think either Bridges or Hilla for that.
Okay.
I feel like Bridges might be more fitting, but I'll get back to you because I might have some ideas for Hilla. So work with someone else, and I'll get back to you.
Sure. Think away. Dan, Faye, do you have an idea, one of you?
I think I'm gonna go as a human. I normally play humans.
Okay.
Humans.
Beautiful.
I feel like we don't have. I feel like we're pretty split. We have a barbarian, a bard, a cleric. I'm kind of thinking some kind of spellcaster here, then.
Some kind of spellcaster. Okay, beautiful.
Either a wizard, then, or a cleric, I guess.
We could go double cleric, yeah. I'm interested in that.
So I guess it kind of depends on what Faye plays, then.
Okay, you want to wait and round it out? Sorry, Faye.
With those choices, I'm gonna go for druid, I think.
Awesome. You had talked to me about creating a Spriggan race for a druid?
Absolutely. Fits right in. I mean, when Millman came up with the pixie, I thought, like a tree person and a pixie are gonna be friends, right? So the pixie is probably going to explain a little bit about the world to me as we walk around.
Yeah, that is awesome. Great. So let's go ahead and just loop everybody into our Spriggan race, obviously inspired a little bit by Oblivion. So the Spriggan is essentially a sentient and awakened humanoid tree, very strongly connected to nature. As such, you get +2 to your constitution. And you get +1 to your wisdom score. The age of your race varies a great deal. You can be as young as a sapling and as old as a mighty oak. But none of the Spriggans have ever lived long enough to tell of the arrival. Even the oldest ones that can be found seem to come up some hundreds of years short of that. You are size medium as a humanoid race, and you have a base walking speed of 30 feet. So, you also are very deeply connected to nature. So, you may choose one cantrip from the Druid spell list, and you can cast this at will. This is your natural connection to the nature. And you will have wisdom as your spellcasting modifier for this innate power. You are gifted with a natural tongue. So this means you have limited means of communication with small beasts and plants. So they essentially can understand the meaning of your words, but you don't have any magical understanding of them. You can kind of talk to them, but they don't really talk to you. But you do have advantage on all charisma checks to influence small beasts and plants. You also are awarded with nature's...
To influence small plants? Like, okay.
Small beasts... comma, and plants. That's what.
Do I count as a small beast?
You are not a beast, no.
You're not a beast.
You can count as a small plant if you want to.
I'll take it.
Okay, fine. New lore point. Only small plants. Large plants, they speak a different language. No.
They got attitude.
They got attitude. Yeah. They're dicks. No, you can speak with small beasts and any foliage, any natural growing plant. The final two things, you get dark vision for being this wooded creature. The Spriggan race comes from the deep woods you see in the gloom. And you have nature's veil. You may attempt to make a hide check, even if you're only lightly obscured by foliage, trees, plants, the nature that you come from. And that is the general overview of the Spriggans as a race if you're going to play it.
Yeah.
Sweet. I'm super excited. So, that said, have you arranged your stats and gotten them added up?
Wait, I get +2 con, right? That was
+2
what you said.
con, yes.
On, and then I'm gonna put 7. Yep, I think I got it. I think I'm going with 11. Wait. Yeah, 11 strength,
Okay.
18 wisdom, 13 dex, 11 con then because I get the +2, 8 charisma, 13 int.
8 charisma and 13 int. Wonderful. So you have a very good druid here with that 18 wisdom. Love it. So what I want you to do
Almost
is...
irrelevant note. I have decided after picking a background to flip-flop my wisdom and charisma. So it's 12 wiz, 13 charisma. Mechanically, does nothing, but...
I like it. I like it. It's important sometimes.
Yeah.
You gotta have that extra charisma. Anytime you increase charisma in my game, I love it.
I decided to go with the entertainer background for the gladiator variant.
Okay.
So
Oh shit.
yeah.
Awesome.
So
And I thought you were gonna play a ukulele or something.
No, I decided to be a gladiator. It was either that or pull out the Sword Coast Adventurers Guide and be like, "Hey, Greg, can I use this book? I want to be a mercenary veteran." So.
Beautiful. All right, so that sounds excellent. So Faye, what I want you to do is think about your character as a Spriggan and their role in the world and why you're here. So go ahead and pick a background out of Chapter 4, and we will get to that when you have a chance to think through your character. Dan, my man, you are up.
All right. I think I'm gonna go with a wizard then, because we don't have one.
Going with a wizard. I like it.
I'm gonna go with Varian Human, because they're the best.
Awesome.
And I'm going to put my 16 in intelligence, bump that up to a 17.
Okay.
Do I need wisdom for wizards in this
You
edition?
don't. It's not a prime. It's not a prime requisite like skill. You could easily dump wisdom as a wizard mechanically, but
Yeah.
you know, maybe you're a wise old man. I don't know. You might. Don't base your decisions in purely mechanically if you
Nope,
don't need
it's gonna
to.
be
Pure mechanical. All right,
Yep.
sure.
I'm gonna
Dump
go
that wisdom then.
8 strength.
Somebody
and
needs
8
to
wisdom.
play the game properly and not be like the rest of us. You know?
Yeah.
Going
Just
in
min-max
gun ho.
everything. Yeah. I don't want to die.
Somebody has to carry this thing. So.
I mean,
So-
everybody can literally carry me. I'm 12 inches tall.
You got the strength wizard cat.
What are you playing, Dan?
I'm gonna play a Varian Human Wizard.
Okay.
So I heard that you have 17 int, 8 strength, 8 whiz. What else are your stats? Look at that.
So I just down the line, I got 8 strength, 14 dex, 14 con, 17 intelligence, 8 wisdom, 10 charisma.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I love it. All right, so you are a spellcaster. You're a human. You have a lot of different options to be. One thing to consider is how is the influx of magic affecting you, right? As a wizard. That might be something really interesting to explore. Maybe it's not. Maybe that's not interesting to you. But go ahead and think about that. Go ahead and look at Chapter 4. Pick a background. Try to come up with some character inspiration there. And we will talk with Sean at long last, my dude. You held out on me. So what did you come up with?
I feel like Bridges is most fitting for the light domain.
Okay.
Right, everything is based on fire.
Okay.
I had some ideas for Hilla, but they sounded like ideas that would be really cool in character creation and that would have no real impact in gameplay.
Okay.
So let's just go with Bridges for this.
Okay. All right. Then
So I want the acolyte background. I think this is a character who was like raised in a temple, kind of like grew up expecting to do all kinds of like clerical duty. And then just kind of had that strike of inspiration. Said this is a stifling life. You know, the flame of my life is being smothered out in this place, and took to a more adventurous life.
Wonderful, awesome.
So, yeah,
I like that. I like that character idea. Trying to strike out and get that flame of inspiration back. So how are we going to line up your stats here?
I went with 14, just in order here, 14, 10, 13, 12, 15, and 13. So dexterity is my most average stat. I got +2s and wisdom and strength, and everything else is a +1.
All right. Awesome. So you've already chosen a background. You've kind of got a little bit of flesh out there. Do you have a name for your character? Do you? Oh, well, I guess you need to go choose your class and stuff.
Yeah, I still set up all my class features.
Okay, why don't you settle on some class features? We'll talk that through. I think now might be a good time to maybe take a break, grab a glass of water, let you all think about your characters for a second, because you have a lot of choices, like mechanical choices to make. Does that sound good to y'all? Well, except for you, Millman. You came through like...
I'm done, essentially. I just gonna maybe check an extra language and learn some bard spells. But yes, let's go get a beverage.
Yes, everyone grab your favorite beverage, and we will be back in like a couple of minutes. Until then, here's a beautiful looking splash screen from Matthew Berger.